Guys, I was just at the gym. I check my phone to see what's up on Instagram, and Dana White makes an announcement. I'm wondering what the heck this announcement could be, and it's that Anthony Smith is filling in for Azamat Murzakanov on short notice to take on Khalil Rountree. And guys, it's just now setting in that this is probably the worst decision that a fighter has made this entire year, all right? I don't think I've seen a decision this bad since Tai Tuivasa signed to fight Sergey Pavlovich only 2 months after getting knocked out by Cyril Gane. Because unless Anthony Smith signed to fight Khalil Rountree on paper, unless that was the promise, we're going to let you fight him on paper, he's literally fucked. This guy is going to get chopped down like a tree, okay? And I know I've made a lot of videos about Anthony Smith, but I actually want this guy to win. I want him to do well. But I'm afraid that Khalil Rountree is going to put such a bad beating on him that it's going to force Anthony to retire. Unless he gets this fight to the ground and Anthony Smith does not have great wrestling, it's done. And I think it's going to be a truly, truly bad beating. And just think about it like this. If there was any fight style, okay, if there was any fighter that could be hired as someone that would chop down trees, it would be Khalil, the Muay Thai guy, Rountree, all right? Khalil has some of the best roundhouse kicks, good old solid leg kicks in the light heavyweight division. Anthony Smith's weakness are leg kicks. The guy's built like a piece of paper, all right? I know he wants to fight on a piece of paper, and that's not going to happen. Again, maybe there's something behind the scenes that we don't know. Maybe the UFC offered this guy a couple of milli, but it doesn't seem like it because Azamat Murzakanov versus Khalil Rountree wasn't a big fight, and I don't even think that Khalil Rountree is even that good. But for Smith, especially when he's taking this on short notice, his weakness being low kicks, he's going to get fucking lit up like a Christmas tree, man. And I kid you not, all right? I kid you not. I just went Christmas tree shopping today. I literally have my Christmas tree set up in my living room. I just didn't know it was going to be fighting Khalil Rountree in a couple of weeks. He's going to get chopped down, all right? And if you think about Anthony Smith's physical decline as well, look at Anthony Smith's physique over the years. It has significantly declined. He's gotten flabbier. He's looked less in shape every single time he stepped on the scales. What is a off-season, out of training camp Anthony Smith going to look like if he already doesn't look in shape after a 3-month training camp to fight someone like Ryan Spann, or when he was on the scales as the backup fighter for Jamal Hill or Glover Teixeira, all right? It's going to be bad. It's going to be brutal. And I'm just thinking, why the fuck he took this fight? Like, what's in it for him, man? I get that he's going to get paid. I understand. But unless he's improved his wrestling and he has a brand new double leg that's going to blow your socks off, which I totally doubt, I don't think he's going to win this fight. Khalil Rountree's on a 4-fight win streak. He's knocked out Modestas Bukauskas. He's knocked out Carl Roberson. He did rob, what's his name? Who's the guy that he robbed? The kickboxer, the glory kickboxer, Dustin Jacoby, not Justin Jacoby, Dustin Poirier. Listen, man, it's not looking good, and he just KO'd Chris Daukaus, which is just an unbelievable win, okay? Now, of course, I'm messing around, but Anthony Smith looked, let's be honest about it. Let's be totally honest about it. I know that he beat Ryan Spann, okay? I did pick Ryan Spann to beat him, but Ryan Spann may have the lowest fight IQ I've ever seen outside of Michael Chandler, all right? Outside of there have been a couple of really low IQ moments this year. RDA spamming takedowns on Luque, not getting a single one and continuing to do so and getting reversed and getting taken down because of it. Ignacio Bahamondes forgetting that he had legs and not using kicks, which is his best weapon in his last fight too. There have been a lot of low fight IQ moments. But Ryan Spann, who has really strong leg kicks, I think he threw one low kick in the first 2 rounds and maybe threw a couple more in the third. He threw like a total of 3 kicks on Anthony Smith, a guy who leading up to that fight had literally talked about and publicly addressed the fact that, and I kid you not, these are his words, he couldn't do a damn thing about leg kicks in his previous fight. That's his weakness. That's his hole. Even if he checks them, he's out of options. He can't do anything to battle back against a low kick. He doesn't have an answer for it. And Ryan Spann doesn't low kick. And Anthony Smith even gets hurt in the second round and just battles back to victory, out jabbing Ryan Spann in the third round. But if you just look at Anthony Smith's movement, the injuries that have been tallying up, remember he got injured in the Magomed Ankalaev fight, just years of getting into these, I wouldn't even say scraps, more of just like getting his ass kicked. I don't like this for Anthony Smith. I think that Khalil Rountree, not only does he have the low kicks that Anthony Smith is really going to struggle with, but he also has vicious power. Yeah, man, this is going to be a rough one for the Smith fans, for the Believe You Me crew. I just don't understand why he's taking this fight, really. I mean, maybe it's the fact that he wants to prove a point to himself that I can deal with a low kick, and that's the only thing this guy's going to present to me, but that's not the case, man. Khalil Rountree's got some really dynamic striking. He's 33. I know that's not that young, but he's 2 years younger than Anthony Smith. He's on a 4-fight win streak, as I mentioned earlier on. He's got all the momentum. Smith, yeah, he beat Ryan Spann, but it was an ugly-looking win. How the hell is Anthony Smith going to win this fight? He doesn't even get takedowns. Anthony Smith doesn't have a takedown in his arsenal. I actually do think he did take down Johnny Walker, but, listen, man. Johnny Walker is definitely a better grappler than Khalil Rountree. But the way Anthony Smith usually gets his submissions on the ground, and he does have a really good triangle, for example. He's got some other good submission wins. He had that rear naked choke over Gustafsson. He usually gets these by like happenstance in a dirty scramble, or things get nasty and Anthony Smith is getting beat up and he works his way on top, or maybe he knocks his opponent down. That's how the submissions usually end up going. Will he be able to submit Khalil Rountree? Now, guys, once again, I really hope that he proves me wrong, because it's just the case that if Anthony Smith loses, he's retired. Yes, we definitely get to see more Khalil Rountree fights, but we're going to get to see more Khalil Rountree whether or not he loses or wins. I feel like Anthony Smith, even though we like to clown him, he's good to have around, right? He creates conversation. He's a little bit of a meme at this point, but at the same time, if he wins, it's like, whoa, it's a feel-good moment for everybody, right? Maybe not everybody, but through memeing Anthony Smith and through calling him out for his bullshit, because let's be honest, he's a guy that's definitely one of the most delusional fighters in the UFC. No, he was the most delusional fighter in the UFC. I don't know if I could say he is anymore, given that Ian Gary's delusion is much deeper than Anthony Smith's delusion. Now, I know Anthony Smith is certainly delusional, but Ian Gary is on another level at this point. But my point is, just because he's delusional doesn't mean I don't really want to root for him, right? Because, we need guys like Anthony Smith at the top. We need to see an Anthony Smith try to talk his way up into a fight with a killer like Yuri Prohaska. This is going to be a great buildup, don't get me wrong, because we know Anthony Smith's going to be trying to sell us on the idea that Khalil Rountree isn't that good, or, he doesn't hit that hard, and he's been taken down before, and I got this in the bag. I'm going to drag this guy into a war. Every time Anthony Smith says he's going to drag someone into a war, he ends up shitting bricks in the first round and just floating around doing a whole bunch of nothing. Remember, he was saying he was going to light the octagon on fire with Magomed, and he proceeds to fight the hand and parry away in the lead hand. I can't wait for the buildup. I have to be honest on that. What is he going to say? Drop a comment. All right, in the comment section, what's Anthony Smith going to be saying to convince us that he will somehow beat Khalil Rountree? Again, he could take him down. That's his only path to victory. But short notice, he's got a couple weeks to train. He's going to have to make weight, too. I don't even think this is a catch weight. The last time Anthony Smith had to make weight, and he had like a whole month and a half to prepare for it, he didn't even make weight. He missed weight. And that wasn't even that short notice. I think they made that fight, Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill, only about a month after Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev. So Anthony had a month. Now he has 2 weeks. I don't know what the hell he's going to do, man. But I'm looking forward to him talking his way up into this one, man. And if he wins, he's going to try to convince us that he beats Jan Blachowicz and all that. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for the talk that we are about to get from Anthony Smith. I'll be covering this fight closely. But before you go, if you haven't bought my cookbook already, if you haven't got any of my lifting programs, I have a massive sale on my website. Everything is 30% off, and you can still use code MMA to get another 30% off. You do the math. There's about 60% off on every single product that I have on my website, lucastfitness.com. If you guys are interested in my cookbook, in my lifting programs, make sure to use code MMA. Again, there's already a massive discount built into everything. The sale is live for the next, I'll say like 2 or 3 days. We're going to keep the Black Friday thing going for 2 or 3 days. So if you guys are interested, check the link in the description. Until next time.